Look, Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here, day 4 of our 30-day free Get Up and Go challenge. This is actually the 8th time we've done this Get Up and Go challenge of 30 days or more. We've done a 45 plus day challenge. We've done 6 other 30-day challenges, plus I always add an extra bonus day because it gives me an opportunity to bring it all back together, summarize, and get a picture of what have we done, where have we gone, what's the outcome, and just clarify how we've met that outcome for each and every one of us, me included. So today we're going to talk about a subject and a framework that is near and dear to my heart. I've been using it for, oh my God, probably at least 40 years. How old am I? Yeah, probably 40 years. 40 some years. Closer to 50, but I don't want to say how many closer to 50. So what is this framework? Back in the late, and this is really going to date me, late 70s, I started following Tony Robbins. And I believe Tony Robbins got this framework from Jim Rohn or some other motivational speaker or person, but it worked for me and it served me really well. It's the 7 key areas and aspects of our life. And why do I like it? Because it allows me a framework or a process to follow to think about the different areas and aspects of my life. Now, have I always done a good job doing this? No, I absolutely positively haven't. Sometimes in certain periods of my life, I was super focused in one area, maybe 2. Other times I've been spreading it out and trying to balance my life and be paying attention to all 7. Since 2010, I have consciously been paying attention to all 7 areas and aspects of my life. Prior to that, it was kind of a crapshoot, and what I focused on was what was the biggest thing in front of my face at any given time. So a lot of people are in that same boat right now. They're focusing on surviving and getting through all the craziness that's going on in the world right now with COVID-19 and all the stuff that's still happening with that. Believe it or not, it's still happening with that. We have to deal with those things. So what we're going to talk today about is these 7 areas, and I'm actually going to add 2 because for 2021, I added 2, and I think it was April, this last challenge, that I added these 2 foundational areas that I'm working on with coaches and coaching this year and probably beyond, because a lot of things that we want to work on in our lives, we don't just do once and then we're just all done. We're perfect. Boy, wouldn't it be nice if things were like that? We just did them once and boom, they stuck and we never had to think about them again. I would love that. Anybody know how to do that? Please hit me up. Our tool today is going to be, after I share these 9 areas with you, is to prioritize these. Rank order them. And I want you to rank order them in terms of 1 through 7 if you want, or 1 through 9. I'm going to do 1 through 9. What is most important to you right now, right this very minute? Not in the past, not in the future, not what you think should be the most important. What area or aspect of your life is actually the absolute number 1 most important to you right now? And we're going to share that as our action item. I'm going to give you the sneak peek so we can look ahead a little bit. But that's going to be our action item today. Share the number 1 priority for you. And it doesn't matter what it is. It's going to be different for each of us. It's going to be different for many of us. I would be surprised if everybody has the same priority right now. I know over time my priorities have changed. Okay, well, let's talk about the areas of our life and how I break those down and how I encourage you to break them down as well. But you can find whatever framework or format works for you. But for the purposes of this challenge, these are the 9 areas of life we're gonna look at. These are the 9 areas of life we're gonna apply our SOAP framework to, our framework for change and challenges, dealing with failures, setbacks, obstacles, adversities, whatever you call them, problems. This is the grouping, and we're gonna do each of these 9 areas throughout the challenge. We're going to spend time breaking down the framework, applying it, giving you a chance to practice and try it out for yourself so you can ask questions, so we can guarantee that you'll get better results every time you face a change or challenge in the future after having done this challenge. So what are these 9 areas and aspects of our life? This is my fancy graphic, written backwards, of course, because I record on an Android device, and Androids will not flip the screen. And believe me, I've tried for several years now to figure out how to make that happen. And since I haven't been able to figure it out, I write backwards. So what are these areas and aspects of our life? And they're in any order. This just happens to be the order I learned them in originally. So my brain automatically goes to physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, financial, relationships, contribution, communication, and confidence. It automatically goes in that order. Although communication and confidence, since I just added them in April, those switch around in my mind sometimes depending on what I'm working on. But these areas and aspects of our life, we can put almost everything in our life into that's important to us. Now, some things obviously overlap and fall into, and they all are interrelated and impact each other. And I should make a nice graphic because this should really be a circle, and there should be lines that go from one to each other on every single one of them. Maybe I'll do a little graphic like that because that's really how it works in my mind. But when I'm setting my goals every year, when I'm looking at different areas or aspects of my life, when I'm thinking about on a daily basis as I'm breaking down my long-term legacy goals into daily actions, these are the categories and the areas I've used. I've used them for literally over 4 decades because it works for me, and entirely since 2010 on. Because I had a huge physical health event, because I was paying almost no attention to my physical well-being. And that caused me to have a sudden cardiac arrest. And because of that, in 2010, and from then on, my physical well-being and paying attention to my body and my energy and what I ate and how much I moved became very, very important. And we'll break these down. But what I want you to think about today is prioritizing these. What for you is the most important? Right now, let me think about this a minute. I would say, I don't even know which one's the most important right now because I've got them broken down so that I do things every day to move me toward my long-range goals in each of these categories. But what am I feeling right now? I don't know. I would say maybe communication, because that's the one I'm physically putting time and effort and energy into right now. And why do I like communication personally? Because I know that it impacts all the other areas. If I can communicate to my doctor how I'm feeling and what's going on inside my body, I can get a better result from that professional. If I can communicate to people in my life what's going on, how I'm feeling, what my expectations are, I will have better relationships. If I can communicate in my business and with the people that I'm working with to create my supersized business these days, then I will get better financial results. Emotionally, spiritually, they're all connected. So for me, I'm going to say communication right now. Now, I might change my mind tonight and put something else in the comments, but that's it for right now. So, key areas and aspects of our life. We'll talk about these more as we go through them. Again, you have to decide, what does that area of your life include? Mental, what does that include? Emotional, what does that include? Spiritual, what does that mean to you? Financial, what does that mean to you? What does that entail? Is that your job, your career, your business, your aspirations? What does that mean to you? Relationships, what type of relationships are involved in that for you? Contribution means how are you interacting with the rest of the world? What are you putting out there? Because what we put out there is what we get back. And then communication involves all the different types of communication, and you can decide what that means for you, as well as confidence, self-esteem, belief in ourselves, mindsets under mental. But again, like I said, they overlap. 1 to 10, 1 to 10, 1 to 9, make a list, write them down. Number 1 priority to the least important right now. Remember, it's just the least important right now. These change over time. These change when my kids were little and I was raising a family. Financial and relationships were a lot more important to me than physical, confidence, communication, contribution. Contribution probably didn't even hardly hit the list back then. It did before I had my kids. Then I had my kids and they were my priority. Then now that my kids are grown up, my grandkids are my priority. But those things take a lesser role. So all you're going to do is do this number 1 through 10. That's my 10 minutes. And share your most important priority. Have an awesome day. And I'll, of course, be with you tomorrow for day 5 of our Get Up and Go Challenge. Have an awesome day. Bye.